Good morning, everybody. My name is Esra Dari Singletary, and this training will be the JAMS Report Survival Guide. Delaware here at Delaware State University. So, first on today's agenda, we have Icebreaker Bingo. Before anybody raises their hand to say anything, let me just explain the game to you all. So, this icebreaker will be where you use this bingo card and you will find someone who has had birthday month, has traveled outside the country, can play an instrument, had braces, has never seen a Star Wars film, all of these different things. And you have to find someone who has done all of these things. And the first person to come to me with a filled bingo card wins the prize. So I'm going to read the objective. The overall objective is for each and every resident assistant to receive proper training in handling conflict when it comes to the JAMS report process and completion of the JAM report. So just to give another perspective, this training is for you guys to gain insight on what it is like to handle a conflict and write a report based on that conflict, whether it is an informational or an infraction. And we're going to get into that, but that's just the overall, objective of what we are going to be getting into today. You're going to be handling a conflict and writing a JAMS report on that conflict. So what are JAM reports? JAM reports are legal documents, so they can be used in a criminal case or an investigation if, need be. JAMS reports are also confidential reports, so you cannot tell, anybody about a JAMS report, no matter if it's your friend, a family member, a staff member that's not in the building, as long as, it stays in-house within your staff. And that's how I should say, that's confidentiality right there. It should not go outside your staff what is going on when it comes to a JAMS report. A JAMS report is also a detailed, unbiased report. So when you are writing a JAMS report, you're not writing it from, your own opinions, how you feel personally about things. You are writing this report on the facts of what happened. JAMS report are also to be submitted in an accurate and timely manner. So you have 24 hours to turn in a JAMS report before that set date. And I will hope everybody is taking notes and writing everything that I'm saying down, because you will need this information in order to complete this training. So like I was saying, JAMS report are to be submitted in an accurate and timely manner, which is in 24 hours. You should really try to submit the report right after, the situation happens, or maybe if you might not know if you have to add on to the report, so you may want to wait till the morning if it's something that blows over into, the next day. But you should be writing your JAMS report within that timely manner, and it has to be accurate. So, these are the infraction codes that will be used today. Please write these down, because you will need them for when you break off into your smaller groups to do this training. Infraction code D12B, if a resident is caught with possession of any type of liquor bottles. Infraction code D07G, smoking in any university building. Infraction code D12A, if a resident is caught intoxicated in a university building. So all of these codes are infraction codes that should be used when writing a JAMS report. When you're giving, information on, something that happened, you should be using these codes when you are writing, these JAMS reports. You should not just be writing the JAMS report and not having the code right there. The code also helps, who you're writing to, judicial affairs, better, get an insight on what's going on, because you put the code, so they already know what is going to, be entitled of in the JAMS report when you already have that code there, for other reasons as well. But those are, that's another way that you can also help, who you're writing the JAMS report to assess the situation before having to actually go into detail in the JAMS report. Informational codes that will be used today. Informational code CO2H, quiet hours. Informational code D07F, if a resident is caught having candles or incense. Informational code COTE, fail to clean. So these are all informational codes, meaning that, like like how the other ones, I will go back. So if you see these are like more like, okay, caught with a liquor bottle, smoking in the building, you know, if a resident is caught intoxicated, do you see how they both contrast and different? Quiet hours, if a resident is caught having candles and incense, fails to clean. So this is not something that is going, you know, this is just an informational. This is something that's going to judicial affairs because you violated a different type of guideline here at Delaware State University. So there, you know, there are different, the guidelines definitely differ, but you can see the difference in the guidelines. You know, quiet hours for residents called having candles or incense. Like you can see how the, you know, to the information and infraction, they both, how they differ from one and the other. Do's and don'ts. So do's, write a detailed account. So be very specific, you know, in what happened with the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't, you know, not give all of the details that are needed. Give every single detail. Do not tamper with the scene or evidence. Do not tamper with any evidence or anything on the scene. If it's a liquor bottle, if it is paraphernalia, whatever it is, you do not touch it. You wait for public safety to get there, and they will handle the scene and the evidence. You don't touch anything. Include information about whom you contacted. So when you were assessing the situation, if you called, you know, your staff members as an RAs, if you called your staff members as an SRA, the RD, the night manager, or even public safety, you include all of that in the JAMS report. And if it is involving public safety, you ask for the officer's badge number and their name so that you can also put that in the report as well. And when you call the officer, all of that information goes into that JAMS report. Be transparent and honest. This is just very like clear. Just be transparent and honest about, you know, what is going on, the situation, everything like that. And always remain alert. Make sure at all times you just remain alert. Now don'ts. Don't be biased or opinionated. This is not about, you know, your opinions, how you, what you think. This is, you know, the situation at hand. This is a job. So you have to take your personal feelings out of it and use your emotional intelligence and not be biased or opinionated and just put the facts and just have the facts. Do not use text language or slang. This, we are not talking to our friends, you know, that we are talking to professionals. We are young professionals trying to go somewhere with careers, so we're going to use that in this sense as well. This is a job. You don't use text language or slang. Just like how you wouldn't do that to a professor, how you're not supposed to do when you send an email, don't do it in the JAMS report. Do not submit paperwork late. All paperwork must be submitted on time, like I just said previously. Do not blame anyone. Please do not blame anyone for anything. At the end of the day, if you are going to have conversations about how you feel about a situation happened, if someone was involved that you know for sure was involved, then you have that amongst your staff, but you don't have that when you're trying to get that report together, but you don't have that conversation in front of the person who is, you know, you're writing the report on. And please don't be untruthful, like I said in the other dues. Be honest. Infraction versus informational. So, infraction is a violation of rules and guidelines in the handbook on the DSU website and judicial affairs. They both infraction informational, your mandate report, so you have to report no matter what, and always be sure to provide information and fact check all information that you're providing. Informational. Provide information. You never know when something can reoccur that is significant to a prior informational. So writing these informational, even though they're just, okay, just letting, you know, whoever know, letting the university know, DRE know what is going on. At the same time, it can be used again in the future because you never know when something might reoccur, or not even something reoccurring, but you always just want to provide information at all times because you are a mandated reporter, so you want to report everything that you see because you never know when it might come back up and just going to be like, okay, well, you know about it, but you didn't report it. So how is, you know, yeah, that goes into paperwork as well. So now you will give an example of an infraction and information in full detail and be ready to present. Act it out in scenarios. So this is for you guys to just act out, you know, you giving an example of an infraction and informational in full detail and presenting it, as well as, you know, so for example, you're going to act out the scenarios that I put in the beginning. I hope everybody wrote it down. I will go back if you need it, but the different codes for infraction and informational, those are the codes that you will be using to act out a scenario. You now have 25 minutes. Presenting time. So on the presenting time current agenda, each group will present their scenario now. After presenting, you will share your thoughts of how, you know, the impact of the training had on you, if it had any. If it did, how did it? Just go into detail about how this, training impacted you as a RA. Thank you. If you have any questions, or if anybody has any questions or feedback before we end, I'd love to hear it, and I'm open to hearing everything that everybody has to say. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me, open up the stream with everybody and just present, my take on scenarios and James reporting and why this is very important in the Department of Residential Education. Thank you.